Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, the 13th day of August. Is that bad, Thursday the 13th, or is it only bad when it's Friday?
It's not even bad when it's Friday.
Okay. Well, it is National Prosecco Day. Is that how you say that? It's a I think it's Prosecco. Is it a cheese?
I believe it's a
Meat?
kind of like a winey champagne, bubbly champagne.
Is that what it is? Huh.
Isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll Google that. Now we sound like idiots. We are not cultured. I don't know if anyone ever...
You uncultured swines.
Yeah. We both know what, Cheez-Its are. You're right, it is. It is raise a toast. It's a... Anyway, it's a kind of drink. I was wrong. What am I thinking of?
I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking of.
National Filet Mignon Day.
Yeah, we know what that is.
International that, by the way, is a steak for those of you little tiny one with bacon wrapped around it usually. And it's International Left-Handers Day. So for those of you that celebrate the whole world with your left hand, today is your day. And it is a Thursday, so we have a Dear John letter to get to as well. It's all coming up in a bit.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Study found that Elon Musk's Neuralink brain chip will enable people to choose what kind of mood they want to be in.
Oh, my gosh.
If you have this brain chip, if you want to be happy, it would release a chemical
oh my gosh.
in your brain to make you happy. So that just seems really like a bad idea.
It seems like a horrifying idea.
But there are people saying, I'll do that.
Oh my
Stick one of those things in my brain. No,
nobody's touching me.
I don't want you to put a chip in my brain. That's okay. I'll just be happy the old-fashioned way by being happy. So I'll try that. Thanks for listening to Surveys and Studies and Such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Health officials are warning against drinking hand sanitizer. Yes, hand sanitizer.
Wow.
4 poisoning deaths reported in the American Southwest. Center for Disease Control, that's the CDC, they announced an advisory against ingesting any type of hand sanitizer or any kind of sanitizer. And they echoed FDA guidance to entirely avoid products that contain methanol. Don't ingest those. Or wood alcohol substances. Those can be toxic. So do not ingest or absorb, even if they're absorbed through the skin, they're saying. So you wouldn't want to do too much of that. Over the course of May and June, the CDC reported 15 cases of methanol poisoning in Arizona and New Mexico, where people swallowed alcohol-based hand sanitizers. 4 of those patients died. 3 were discharged with visual impairments, according to the CDC.
Whoa.
So I don't know if they looked at it and go, well, it's made by a place that makes booze, because there were companies who, during COVID shutdowns, quit making their regular product and started making hand sanitizer. So I don't know if people bought those thinking, well, it was made by people who made booze. Anyway, bad idea. Don't do that. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Sony is developing a sequel to Who's the Boss, featuring Tony Danza and Alyssa Milano. They're both looking at signing up for the reboot. That was on for many, many, many years, and they're looking at bringing it back. Longtime MSNBC producer Ariana Pekare announced that she's leaving the network. She's leaving MSNBC, saying that its ratings model, quote, blocks diversity of thought because the networks have incentive to amplify fringe voices. She spent nearly 5 years on the Lawrence O'Donnell show. She's saying, I'm not going to be here anymore because their narrative, they're pushing their agenda, and she doesn't think that's right when it comes to news.
I agree. Because it's supposed to be news.
Yeah, it's
Agreed.
Wrong way to do it. Well, for many people anyway. Unless, of course, you want somebody to tell you exactly how to think. Then, then it's not wrong. Longtime Today Show producer Jackie Levine is leaving NBC News after 26 years with the network. So, big shakeup in the news today.
I guess so.
Big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. A woman admitted to New York Times that she made up a Twitter account for an Arizona State professor who detailed her struggles with COVID-19 before dying from it last month. Turns out the professor never existed, and the woman has now apologized for her role in this hoax. So she was doing this thinking that if I can just get somebody's attention...
Oh, my gosh. People...
And they'll realize how dangerous this is. Well, you know what's even more dangerous? Just lying and making stuff up. That's not right. It hurts your case. Doesn't help it. I've got a link to the story if you want to read the details on that. According to a poll, 70% of women over the age of 35 say they would not date a man under the age of 32. So if they're over 35, they go, no, I would never date a man younger than 32. So apparently that's the age gap from 35 to 32. So I know people who are very, very happy with people that have a bigger age gap than that.
Sure.
For example, I married somebody way older than me. My beautiful bride Heidi over here, she's like a year and a couple of months older than me. So it's maybe it's not such a great, huge age gap. Officers in the United Kingdom got a call about a man on a bridge carrying a shotgun. Whoa. After a search for the man, he was located. Officers reported he did not have a shotgun. He was carrying 2 didgeridoos, or how do you say it? Didgeridoo?
Didgeridoo.
It's an interesting sounding instrument.
It is.
That's what he had. He was carrying that, not shotguns.
Okay.
So, and if you don't know what that instrument sounds like, it is worth a little, like a YouTube search just to hear. It played in the theme for the TV show Survivor. That's where I first... Yeah. I'd never heard it before. It's a real throaty sounding instrument, like I don't know if it's a wind. I don't know what it is. Didgeridoo. I don't know how you say it. I've got the way you spell it in the show notes today. A study shows that 9% of Americans remain non-internet users. So 9% of Americans do not have the internet at all. They don't use it ever. That's just really weird for me to even fathom that. But my grandmother doesn't use the internet. Your dad, I guess he does.
He does at work.
He was at work, but he doesn't at home. Your mother was a non-internet user until just recently. Now she's texting and doing all kinds of stuff, which is amazing to me. And it looks like we got room for at least one more, maybe 2. Many people struggle with money. As the pandemic continues, it may be getting worse. Resorting to plastic has become more of a crutch. Wallet Hub looked at 50 different states and the District of Columbia using TransUnion credit data at each state's median credit card balance and monthly credit card payment. Turns out Alaska may need some serious credit counseling soon. The people there have the median credit card debt per credit card, $3,897.
Okay.
So that's not nearly as much as I thought it was going to be, but that's the median. That's the average. So that means some
are way higher, some are lower.
So we have credit cards. We never used to, but we got credit cards. One of our sponsors, bettercreditcards.com. But it was because we were worried like our credit score was going down because we didn't use any credit.
Right.
So now when we have them, we just pay them off every month.
Every month.
It's a way to do it, by the way. It's if you can do that. I've got a link to this story and all of that in the show notes for today at JohnandHeidiShow.com. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. And it's time right now for
Dear John Letters.
Dear John, dear John.
All right, this is going to be interesting because my beautiful bride and I, we agree a lot on politics, but we disagree a lot on where politics should be shared. So it'll be interesting to see what Heidi's response to this is. So here's where we go. Dear John, I have a coworker that constantly talks about politics and starts arguments at work. He's been worse than normal since we've been working from home. I thought it would actually be better, but he sends me stuff and tries to start arguments on a weekly basis. I've asked him not to waste company time on this, but I'm not his boss, so he doesn't really listen to me at all. We used to be friends, but I would no longer use that word to describe him. We are now coworkers only. What should I do? I can't block him since there are times that actual work-related things are shared through our social media accounts. I don't want to get him fired, so I'd rather not get him in trouble. This all started in 2016, and I thought it would end after the election, but it's gotten worse. I really think that he's gone a little insane. Not sure what else I can do. I've asked him over and over to leave the politics at home, but it's getting so bad that many other people in the company have already threatened to report him. What can I do to hopefully talk some sense into my former friend before he loses his job over this? Signed, not political at work. So first and foremost, I want to just say this. He's still a friend or you wouldn't have sent this letter. Even if you're saying he's... No, I'm saying...
Not necessarily.
Even if you're saying we're no longer friends, if you're no longer friends, you'd have reached out to your boss and said, hey, get this bozo out of here.
Not necessarily. Just because you're not friends with somebody doesn't mean you want to see them unemployed and struggling.
Well, that's true. But before I chime in with my 2 cents, I'm going to let Heidi take a whack at this because usually you've got pretty good advice. What would you say about this?
I actually agree that those sort of things shouldn't be happening during work hours.
There you go. So we do agree on this?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Somebody mark this down. We agree.
I mean, unless you know 100% that everybody that you're visiting with is in agreement, you shouldn't be discussing it during work.
Even if everybody's in agreement, if you're being paid to do something that has nothing to do with that, do that.
Well, no, I mean, you don't want to be sending out messages while you're supposed to be working and stuff.
Yeah.
If all of you were, like, say, around one desk and you're chatting while you're working, that's a different story.
Why are you pointing at me right now?
But... Yeah, if you're spending company time to dig up things and forward it to people, that's wrong. Yeah. That's absolutely wrong. Well, and this person probably should lose their job for that because they're not working.
I would hate to see anybody lose their job over some silly little thing like politics because at the end of the day, think about this. There are probably 100 things you guys could talk about that you agree on. Whatever you're doing for a job, there's a commonality because you work together. You're doing something in a completely different field than politics. So you have all of those topics you could talk about that have nothing to do with politics. You live in the same area because it says they used to be in the office together. Now they're working from home. Think about all of the other things you could talk about other than politics. And this is what I would do. I would send a message to him and just say, you know what? We have been friends for a long, long time. We've worked together for a long, long time. You know, this all started... kind of just what you sent to us. This all started with the election. We thought it would get better, and it hasn't. You need to be really careful because I don't want you to lose your job. You know, I really don't. But you've spent so much time now that is company time doing things that are not company related that you are, I'm not threatening you. I'm saying somebody's going to turn you in because I'm not the only one. So I think that if it were me, I would talk directly to them. And I let them know, we don't need to agree on things. As a matter of fact, I love the fact that we don't agree on things. I think everybody that has an opinion, it's good to have somebody that has the opposite opinion. Because if everybody did agree on things, if everybody agreed 100% on everything, you know how boring this world would be? It's good to have varying opinions on things. But when it starts to get in the way of work, which it sounds like it really is.
Yeah, this sounds like that's what the problem is.
And, you know, I don't know what the answer is going to be. You know, you might think, well, hey, you know, we're only a few months away from that next election and maybe that's going to get all better. Well, is it? Or is it going to get worse? Who knows? But I would have the discussion now. And again, I'd have the discussion with him instead of reaching out to the boss. Now, again, folks, you can chime in on our Facebook page and you can say, here's what I would do. That's really simple. If you've got a great answer, maybe you've been down this path. Facebook.com/Dear John and Heidi Show is the page. And thank you so much for the Dear John letter. You can also submit a letter. How do they do that, Heidi?
You can do it right through that same Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
You know, Snap, Crackle, and Pop used to have another brother.
I did not.
Pow. Yeah.
Really?
There's a long-lost fourth member of the Snap, Crackle, Pop gang. Pow represented Rice Krispies' supposed explosive nutritional value. So it used to be Snap, Crackle, Pop, Pow.
Huh.
It just sounds weird to me. So apparently it was way before my time.
Do we have a picture of him?
I don't. I don't have I just have the story. I don't have. You could probably Google and find him, I'm sure. But I have not done that. So I feel bad.
I'm going to do that.
I'll bet you will. All right, that's going to do it for today's fun fact on the John and Heidi Show. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. Time now for a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline, UK, the United Kingdom. The UK recently launched a campaign that's being mocked all over the world. They launched the Eat Out to Help Out campaign.
Okay.
And there's like a double meaning to that.
I get
so
that.
there are people, well, they're saying go to restaurants to help the restaurants. Well, online,
people have taken it a whole different direction.
Oh, yeah. People have been really naughty. And anyway, the Eat Out to Help Out campaign mocked for their new slogan. I've got a link to the story if you want to read all the details. And if you want to get a chuckle, just ask a 12-year-old or 15-year-old or something like that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Time now for a little bit of weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. What a weird story. Naked man blocking a busy street in Russia got shown who's boss by a fed-up driver who got out of his vehicle and knocked the guy out with a single punch. So there's some footage from Jam Press. The bare-bottom buffoon is first shown strutting down the middle of the road, stunning onlookers and forcing cars to swerve around him. Then he stands with his arms crossed directly in front of a white sedan, refusing to let it pass, prompting a hulking man to get out of the vehicle. After a quick conversation, the driver knocked the man out with one punch, hit him in the face so hard he fell to the ground as passerbys pointed and laughed. The footage, by the way, was uploaded to Twitter earlier in the month.
I saw the video, actually.
It's gone viral, getting more than 850,000 views, way more than that now. That's how many there were when this story was typed. So, yeah, that's a bad idea.
You don't block traffic.
I don't understand what the point was. And I don't know if he was on something. He was naked in the street. There's got to be a story there. But it is today's weird news. Time now for your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Amazon is a little embarrassed over this. One of their delivery drivers needed to go and was caught going in a woman's garden before delivering a package to her neighbor. 53-year-old Sharon Smith told The Sun that she spotted a worker using the bathroom on her property. Well, there wasn't a bathroom, just using her garden as a bathroom. July 26th. I cannot express how shocked I was. I could not believe what I was seeing in this day and age, she said. She said she followed the man into her yard because she believed he was trying to steal some of her wood. Despite asking what he was doing, he remained there whilst asking me, what is your problem?
Oh, my God.
The man remained there until her husband and the police showed up and even dropped off a package at a neighbor's house while waiting. No charges were brought against him, but he did lose his job.
Well, I would hope so. That's disgusting.
That is. So it was like, hey, I had to go. Well, you know what? There's a lot of other ways to do that.
There are lots of places where you could have used a restroom.
Where you don't do it is in somebody's garden. I mean, just a bad... You could have even asked for... They probably would let you use the restroom in their house. Bad idea. It's today's Moment of Duh. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Fake news or Florida? A Florida man narrowly survived a drunken dare to dive from a third-story balcony through an open manhole in the street below. Fake news or Florida?
Okay, say it again.
A Florida man narrowly survived a drunken dare to dive from a third-story balcony through an open manhole on the street below. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
It is fake news. How did you not believe that?
I was just trying to picture how that would even go down. I was like, no.
You never made that one up? It was way too wordy. I knew the folly of my ways when you asked me to read it again. I'm like, there ain't no way she's falling for this one. If you'd like to chime in with your own fake news or Florida story, you can submit those at the bottom of the page at JohnandHeidiShow.com. This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to JohnandHeidiShow.com. Again, JohnandHeidiShow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. And I love a positive police story.
Oh, me too.
We need more of these. Yep. We need way more of these. So if you see a positive police story, please share those with me because I love sharing these. Here's the headline. Police officer uses kindness to dissolve a dangerous situation. So a Facebook post about an officer who helped a man in distress is getting a lot of positive feedback from the public. Says, we wanted to share this heartwarming story about the actions of one of our members in response to a mental health call a few weeks ago. So the police say the following is in the words of a senior officer who witnessed an interaction while driving home that day. A few weeks ago, I was traveling home from work in the duty's office vehicle, which is equipped with SPS-issued radio. I heard a call come in regarding two social workers who were trying to catch an adult male who ran from personal care home. The male was in his mid-20s, however, functioning at a very low level. The three were running westbound, and he was actually coming toward that area. He said, I could see a male running west through parking lots with social workers following. They looked exhausted and quite shaken. The subject ran into rush hour traffic.
Oh, wow.
And I could see that he was obviously confused, and it was a very dangerous situation. He said he blocked the traffic as he parked the car there. What happened next has a lasting positive impression on the man, his care providers, and certainly on me. Says the constable stepped out of the car, simply extended his hand to the man who was tired and running, and he ran straight to him and took his hand. He then wrapped his arm around the man and began speaking quietly to him. He said it was clear that this brought an immediate sense of calm to the situation. They sat down in the grass with the constable still holding him close. Care providers then showed up. There was a sense of relief.
That's amazing. That's beautiful.
This is a clear display of how every situation dictates our response. The constable started the interaction with a genuine amount of care and concern for the individual. And that's what was needed at this particular time. It's really a really cool story. I've got a link to that story in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Also, if you'd like to chime in with our Dear John letter, you can do that at the same place. And that is, actually, that's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.